Viewer beware.
Welcome to Viewer Beware. It's the series where we go over each and every episode of the Goosebumps TV series. And today we're watching It Came From Beneath the Sink. Now, you never know what you're going to find underneath your kitchen sink. It could be something common like your mini nukes. But sometimes it's something terrifying. And that's the story in tonight's episode, as our hero Kat, who you horror fans may remember from her starring role in the Ginger Snaps franchise, finds something terrifying under her sink, with the ability to make dogs go missing and seemingly break an infinite amount of glass. But, enough yapping. Let's roll it. We open to a traditional nuclear family moving into a brand new house. The son's friend Carlo rides up on his bike to the family and reveals it only took him 8 minutes to bike ride to them. Not much of a move, but hey, this housing economy, what you gonna do? Kat comes in with a narration to let everyone know that she is very against the move and expects it to go wrong. She finds the dog yelping and pawing at the kitchen cabinet and decides to investigate. Thinking that there is a kitten trapped under the sink, she reaches around for it and ultimately stumbles upon something that looks like a sponge with teeth. She even realizes it was probably just a regular sponge, but when she picks it up, it starts writhing in her hand. However, when she tries to show everyone else, it goes right back into sponge mode, and Dad throws it in the garbage. That night, while Kat is washing her face, the sponge crawls into the bathroom and watches her. When she tries to grab her towel, she touches it and flinches, which causes her to break a glass, which her brother immediately steps on. Her mom doesn't believe her about the sponge and takes the brother off to another room. But that night, while everyone is asleep, the sponge monster lures the family dog away, and it is never seen again. The next morning, the brother mocks the sister by throwing garbage at her before she decides to go out and look for the dog. While Kat is biking, she is thinking about all the misfortune that has happened since discovering the sponge, and then suddenly discovers that her brakes are cut, and she flies downhill. After limping home, she finds her brother and Carlo watching TV and complains to them about all this bad luck, before the sponge somehow crawls out of her helmet. Like she couldn't feel it there the whole time? Or does it teleport? I don't know, I'm not a sponge professorologist.
This is better than the X-Files.
The kids have a fairly calm approach to the topic though, and simply grab it with some fireplace tongs and bury it in a hole. After burying the sponge, Kat is seen waiting for her lost dog, confident that the sponge drama is in the past. But the next morning, the kids discover everything around where they buried the sponge has died, as if it's some kind of nuclear fallout. So they decide to dig up the sponge and take it to their science teacher, who pokes at it with some utensils and claims it's just a sponge. Humoring the young girl, the teacher takes the sponge off her hands, but immediately after Katrina leaves, the sponge comes to life and blows up a beaker with its mind. That night, the kids are seen looking in the Encyclopedia of the Weird, where they discover that the sponge is in fact a gruel, a being that feeds on bad luck.
Each time something bad happens, it gets stronger.
Well, that explains all the accidents.
Carlo also exclaims that they are lucky they didn't find a lynx, which is a potato with teeth that sucks out life force. Apparently the books also say that if you give away your gruel, you will die. So the kids rush to the school to take it back. Upon arriving at the school, the kids discover that the night janitor is making his rounds, so they decide to hide from him and sneak around. Eventually, the gruel sponge works its magic and knocks the lights out, and the janitor bonks his head and passes out. The boys stay with the janitor while Kat hunts for the sponge. She finds it, but she knocks over a cabinet of acid in the process, which is a strange thing to keep in an elementary school. The gruel grows with all the bad luck happening, but hearing the janitor's music play makes it experience shrinkage. The kids deduce that the songs are happy, and happy makes gruel die. So they compliment the sponge until it shrinks to a manageable size.
Did I ever tell you what a wonderful sponge you are?
Right, Jordan, keep going.
So handsome, so terrific.
Of course. Brilliant. Kill it with kindness.
After that, Kat is perfectly fine with holding onto the gruel forever, keeping it as a pet that she plays music to keep it content. With that problem all squared away, the dog decides to come back home. But he has a gift.
Kill.
What'd you bring me, huh? What'd you bring back? What is it? A potato?
So the dog brought Kat a Lynx. I think it's time we consider that this dog hates its family. But as for the episode, showrunner Dan Angel has actually said that it's his least favorite of the series because they struggled so hard to make the Gruul look scary. Which is fair because it was probably the least threatening villain of our entire series so far. Let's be honest, I mean, how scary can a sponge get? They seem to handle it pretty easily. Despite that, I did find myself enjoying the episode, mostly because the performances from Kat and the rest of the kids were pretty good, and the way they handled situations was really rational and on point, so points for that. For that, I'm going to give this 2 bumps out of 5. It's not good, it's not bad, room to improve. But if you like the series, make sure you like and subscribe on this channel. We're going to be coming back. I'm trying to do it weekly. Every episode of the Goosebumps series, and then after that, you know what? We'll move on to something else. We'll keep rolling, but there's gonna be content, and I want to see you there for it. Cheers. Ciao. Love you.